Did you know that some of the foods you might be enjoying right now could be quietly working against your brain? It's a tough thought, isn't it? We spend years building routines, finding comfort in familiar tastes, and often, without even realizing it, we're putting things into our bodies that aren't serving our most vital organ as we get older, as we reach our 60s and beyond. Our brains need a little more care, a little more nourishment, and unfortunately, some seemingly innocent items on our plates or in our pantries can start causing real trouble. It's not about fear. It's about knowledge and empowerment. It can feel overwhelming to think about making big changes. But sometimes, just knowing what to look out for is the most important first step. The painful reality is that the consequences of ignoring this can be subtle at first. Maybe a little more fogginess, a slight dip in memory, or just not feeling as sharp as you used to. Over time, however, the damage can become more significant. But there's good news: you have the power to make choices that can protect and even improve your brain health. In this video, we're going to uncover 6 delicious foods that might be damaging your brain after 60 and, more importantly, talk about what you can do about it. Stay with me until the very end, because I'll share something that might truly surprise you about the power you hold over your brain health. So, let's dive right into the first food on our list that can be surprisingly detrimental to your brain health as you get older. And this one might be hard to hear, because it's something many of us reach for to quench our thirst or give us a little pick-me-up: sugary drinks. I'm talking about sodas, fruit juices with added sugar, sweetened teas, sports drinks, and even those fancy coffee drinks that are more like dessert in a cup. Now, we all know that too much sugar isn't great for our waistlines or our blood sugar levels, but its impact on the brain, especially after 60, is often underestimated. When you consume a sugary drink, your body gets hit with a large dose of sugar very quickly. This causes a rapid spike in blood sugar, and over time, these frequent spikes can damage the blood vessels throughout your body, including the tiny, delicate ones that supply your brain. Think of those blood vessels as the highways and roads delivering essential fuel and oxygen to your brain cells. When those roads are damaged or clogged, the supply line is cut off, and brain cells can suffer. But it's more than just blood vessel damage. High sugar intake is strongly linked to increased inflammation in the body, and chronic inflammation is a major enemy of brain health. It's like a low-grade fire constantly burning, damaging brain cells and interfering with their ability to communicate properly. Studies have shown that regular consumption of sugary drinks is associated with a higher risk of developing dementia and Alzheimer's disease. It can also contribute to cognitive decline, making it harder to remember things, focus, and make decisions. It's not just the sugar itself, but the type solings of sugar, often high fructose corn syrup or plain old sucrose, that can be particularly harmful. These are sugars that the body processes very differently than the natural sugars found in whole fruits. For example, while a piece of fruit comes with fiber and nutrients that help regulate sugar absorption, a sugary drink is just a rush of empty calories that flood your system. You might think, "Oh, I only have 1 soda a day." Or, "Juice is healthy," right? But even moderate amounts, consistently over time, can add up and contribute to this quiet damage. It's the cumulative effect that really matters as we age. Our brains become a little less resilient to these kinds of assaults than they were in our younger years. The good news is, this is one of the easiest things to change. Swapping sugary drinks for water, plain tea, or coffee without excessive sugar or syrup can make a huge difference. Add a slice of lemon or cucumber to your water for flavor, or brew some delicious herbal tea. It's a simple swap, but it reduces that constant inflammatory load and protects those vital blood vessels. Think of it as giving your brain's transportation system a much-needed break. Now, let's move on to another category of food that many of us find delicious, but can be surprisingly tough on our brains, especially as the years go by. I'm talking about fried foods. Whether it's crispy fried chicken, French fries, donuts, or anything that's been deep fried to golden perfection. These foods pose a significant threat to cognitive function after 60. Why again? Inflammation is a major culprit here. When foods are fried, especially at high temperatures or in unhealthy oils, they can produce harmful compounds like advanced glycation, end products, ages, and aldehydes. These compounds are linked to inflammation and oxidative stress in the body. And guess where a lot of that damage happens? You guessed it. The brain. Oxidative stress is like rust forming on your brain cells. It damages them and impairs their function. Think about those little pieces of debris that get kicked up when you fry food. Those harmful compounds are like internal debris that floats around and causes problems. Beyond inflammation and oxidative stress, fried foods are also often loaded with unhealthy fats, particularly trans fats or large amounts of saturated fats, depending on the oil used. While trans fats are less common now due to regulations, they can still be found in some commercially fried items or when oils are reused repeatedly. These unhealthy fats can clog arteries and reduce blood flow, which, as we discussed with sugary drinks, is absolutely crucial for getting oxygen and nutrients to your brain cells. Poor blood flow is a direct pathway to cognitive decline. A brain that isn't getting enough oxygen and nutrients simply cannot function at its best. You might notice symptoms like feeling sluggish, having trouble concentrating, or finding it harder to recall information. It's not just about the fat content, though. It's the process of frying itself that creates these damaging compounds. Even seemingly healthy foods, when deep fried, lose some of their nutritional value and gain these harmful properties. For example, a potato is fine baked, but fry it and it becomes a source of inflammation and poor fats. A piece of fish is great baked or grilled, but fried. It's a different story. Making changes here doesn't mean you can never enjoy anything crispy. It's about reducing the frequency and quantity of fried foods, opting for baked, grilled, steamed, or air-fried versions of your favorite foods can satisfy that craving for a different texture without the brain-damaging side effects. It's about making conscious choices most of the time, not being perfect all the time. These two food types, sugary drinks and fried foods, are often staples in many diets, and reducing them can have a profound positive impact on how your brain feels and functions as you navigate life after 60. They are often consumed mindlessly, part of habits formed over decades. But recognizing their hidden danger is the first step towards protecting your cognitive future. Now that we've talked about these two key culprits, let's delve into another common category that might be sabotaging your brain health without you even realizing it. Continuing our journey through the foods that can quietly impact your brain after 60. Let's talk about refined carbohydrates. This category includes things like white bread, white pasta, white rice, and many processed snack foods made from refined flour. Unlike whole grains, refined grains have been stripped of their bran and germ during processing. While this gives them a finer texture and a longer shelf life, it also removes most of the fiber, vitamins, and minerals. What's left is essentially a form of carbohydrate that the body quickly converts into sugar. Just like with sugary drinks, eating refined carbohydrates leads to rapid spikes in blood sugar and insulin levels. Consistent spikes and crashes aren't just tough on your pancreas, they're also tough on your brain. Over time, this pattern can contribute to insulin resistance, which is linked to inflammation and impaired cognitive function. The brain relies on a steady supply of glucose for energy, but those wild swings caused by refined carbs can make it harder for brain cells to get the stable energy they need. Imagine trying to keep a delicate machine running smoothly when the power keeps surging and then dipping dramatically. That's a bit like what happens to your brain on a diet high in refined carbs. Furthermore, the lack of fiber in refined carbohydrates means they don't fill you up for long, often leading to overeating and weight gain, which itself is a risk factor for cognitive decline. Fiber, on the other hand, helps regulate blood sugar, supports a healthy gut microbiome which is increasingly linked to brain health, and makes you feel satisfied. Think about the difference between eating a slice of white bread versus a slice of whole grain bread. The white bread is quickly digested, causing a sugar spike, The whole grain bread, with its fiber intact, is digested more slowly, leading to a more gradual and sustained release of sugar into the bloodstream, which is much gentler on your system and better for brain stability. Making the switch from refined grains to whole grains is one of the most powerful dietary changes you can make for your brain health. Choose whole wheat bread, brown rice, whole grain pasta, oats, and quinoa. These foods still provide the carbohydrates your body and brain need for energy, but they come packaged with fiber and nutrients that protect rather than harm. It's a simple swap that can make a significant difference in reducing inflammation and supporting stable blood sugar levels, giving your brain a much better environment to thrive in. Moving on. Let's tackle a food group that's a staple for many but comes with some hidden dangers for your brain: processed meats. This includes things like bacon, sausages, hot dogs, deli meats like ham, turkey, and salami, and jerky. While convenient and often flavorful, processed meats contain high levels of unhealthy fats, sodium, and preservatives, particularly nitrates and nitrites. It's these last two, nitrates and nitrites, that are especially concerning for brain health. In the body, nitrates and nitrites can be converted into compounds called nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are known carcinogens, cancer-causing substances. But research also suggests they can contribute to inflammation and oxidative stress in the brain. They can damage brain cells and potentially interfere with nerve signaling. Think of them like little wrenches thrown into the gears of your brain's machinery. Additionally, processed meats are often high in saturated fat and cholesterol, which can contribute to heart disease and poor circulation. And as we've already discussed, anything that negatively impacts blood flow is bad news for your brain. A constant diet of processed meats can starve your brain of the oxygen and nutrients it needs to function optimally. The high sodium content in processed meats is also problematic, as it can contribute to high blood pressure. Another major risk factor for stroke and cognitive impairment. It's a triple threat: inflammatory compounds, unhealthy fats that impair blood flow, and high sodium that raises blood pressure. While the occasional slice of bacon might not cause immediate harm, regular consumption of processed meats over many years can contribute significantly to the cumulative damage that affects brain function later in life. This doesn't mean you have to become a vegetarian overnight. It's about making healthier choices more often. Opt for leaner cuts of unprocessed meat, like grilled chicken breast or fish. Beans, lentils, and plant-based proteins are also excellent alternatives. When buying deli meat, look for lower sodium, less processed options, and consume them sparingly. Choosing unprocessed, whole sources of protein helps provide your brain with the building blocks it needs without the inflammatory baggage. Now, let's talk about something that's often a source of comfort or celebration, but can be particularly harsh on an aging brain: commercial baked goods and pastries. This includes cakes, cookies, donuts, muffins, pastries, and many pre-packaged desserts. These items are often a perfect storm of brain-damaging ingredients, high amounts of added sugar, refined carbohydrates, and unhealthy fats, often a combination of saturated fats and sometimes even trace amounts of trans fats. Depending on the ingredients used, we've already covered the dangers of sugar and refined carbs individually. When they come together in one delicious package, the impact is amplified. The sugar causes rapid blood sugar spikes. The refined flour quickly converts to sugar, and the unhealthy fats contribute to inflammation and poor circulation. It's like hitting your brain with a triple whammy of detrimental effects. The unhealthy fats used in many commercial baked goods, particularly partially hydrogenated oils, a source of trans fats, though less common now, and cheap vegetable oils high in omega-6 fatty acids, can promote inflammation throughout the body, including the brain. Our brains need healthy fats, like omega-3s found in fish and nuts, to build cell membranes and support communication between neurons. But a diet high in unhealthy, inflammatory fats does the opposite. It disrupts cell function and contributes to cognitive decline. Think of brain cells as needing smooth, flexible walls to function properly. Healthy fats help build those walls, while unhealthy fats make them rigid and damaged, hindering communication. Consuming these types of baked goods regularly provides very little nutritional value to the brain, while actively contributing to inflammation, oxidative stress, and impaired blood flow. It's essentially feeding your brain empty calories that do more harm than good. And because they are often designed to be highly palatable, a specific combination of sugar, fat, and salt that makes them hard to resist, it's easy to overconsume them, further increasing the negative impact. Cutting back on commercial baked goods doesn't mean the end of enjoying treats. It means choosing them less often. Or better yet, trying your hand at baking at home where you can control the ingredients. You can reduce the sugar, use whole wheat flour, and choose healthier fats like olive oil or avocado oil, or explore options like fruit-based desserts or dark chocolate in moderation. It's about consciously choosing treats that nourish your body and brain, rather than those that deplete it. These 5 categories: sugary drinks, fried foods, refined carbs, processed meats, and commercial baked goods, represent some of the most common culprits contributing to cognitive decline after 60. But there's one more broad category that encompasses many sneaky sources of sugar that are also working against your brain health. So, wrapping up our list of delicious foods that can quietly harm your brain after 60, the 6th category is broad, but incredibly important foods high in added sugar. Beyond just drinks and obvious baked goods, this captures all those hidden sources of sugar that sneak into our diets. Think about breakfast cereals, flavored yogurts, granola bars, condiments like ketchup and barbecue sauce, salad dressings, canned soups, and even seemingly savory items like bread and pasta sauces. Manufacturers often add sugar to these products to improve taste, texture, or shelf life, and it adds up quickly. Just like with sugary drinks and baked goods, this added sugar contributes to chronic inflammation, blood sugar spikes, and oxidative stress, all of which are detrimental to brain health over time. The cumulative effect of all these hidden sources of sugar can be substantial, constantly putting stress on your system and making it harder for your brain to function optimally. Your brain thrives on a steady supply of energy and a low inflammatory environment. A diet constantly bombarded with added sugar creates the opposite conditions: energy roller coasters and widespread inflammation. This chronic state can impair cognitive function, making you feel foggy, forgetful, and less mentally sharp. You might not even realize how much added sugar you're consuming because it's not just the obvious sweet treats. It's in things you eat every single day. The key here is to become a label reader. Sugar goes by many names: sucrose, glucose, fructose, maltose, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, cane sugar, honey, maple syrup, agave nectar, etc. Look at the ingredients list and the nutrition facts panel to see how much added sugar is in a product. You might be surprised. Reducing your intake of these hidden sugars is about making conscious choices when you shop and prepare food. Choose plain yogurt and add your own fruit, nuts, or a tiny bit of honey. Opt for unsweetened cereals and add fruit for sweetness. Make your own salad dressings using olive oil and vinegar. Choose condiments with no or low added sugar. This might sound like a lot of effort, but small changes in where you get your sugar can make a monumental difference to your brain health. Now, I know we've covered 6 types of foods that can pose a challenge to your brain health as you get older. It might feel a little overwhelming to think about changing long-standing habits. But please, don't feel discouraged. The amazing thing about our bodies, and especially our brains, is their incredible capacity for resilience and healing when given the right support. Understanding which foods might be quietly causing issues is the most powerful tool you can have. It's not about being perfect. It's about making informed choices most of the time. Think about these foods not as forbidden items, but as opportunities to choose something that will genuinely nourish your brain and help it stay sharp and vibrant for years to come. Every time you choose water over a sugary drink, opt for baked chicken instead of fried, reach for an apple instead of a cookie, or check a food label for added sugar, you are casting a vote for your brain health. These small, consistent choices add up to significant long-term benefits. Remember how we talked about inflammation, blood flow, and nutrient supply? By reducing your intake of these 6 types of foods, sugary drinks, fried foods, refined carbohydrates, processed meats, commercial baked goods, and foods high in hidden added sugar, you are actively reducing inflammation, improving circulation, and making room for nutrient-dense foods that fuel your brain. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids like fatty fish, walnuts, flax seeds, antioxidants like berries and dark leafy greens, and vitamins and minerals found in a wide variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains are the building blocks your brain craves. Choosing these foods isn't just about avoiding the bad, it's about actively incorporating the good. The most surprising thing I mentioned at the beginning, it's simply this. You have so much more control over your brain health than you might realize. While genetics play a role, lifestyle factors, particularly diet, have a profound impact, especially as we age. You aren't just passively aging, you are actively shaping your brain's future with every meal you eat. That is incredibly empowering. It means you can start today, right now, with one small change, and begin to make a difference. Swap one sugary drink for water. Choose whole grain bread for your sandwich tomorrow. Make one meal this week focused on fish and vegetables instead of processed meat. These steps might seem small on their own, but they build momentum and create lasting habits. Don't feel pressured to overhaul everything at once. Find 1 or 2 areas that feel manageable and start there. Celebrate those small victories. Your brain will thank you. Imagine feeling clearer, sharper, and more confident in your memory and focus. That's the potential payoff for making these changes. It's about enjoying delicious, nourishing food that makes you feel good, inside and out. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these foods do you find the most challenging to cut back on? Or perhaps you've already made some of these changes and seen positive results. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights could help others on their journey. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us know we're providing valuable information and encourages us to create more content like this. Also, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. We share tips and information every week designed to help you live your healthiest, happiest life at every age. Don't miss out on future videos that can empower you with more knowledge about caring for your body and mind. Remember, aging is a natural part of life, but cognitive decline doesn't have to be an inevitable part of aging for everyone. By making informed choices about what you eat, you are investing in your brain's longevity and vitality. You deserve to feel your best, stay sharp, and enjoy every precious moment. Live your best life at every age.